The check cleared on a Thursday. $1,200,000 net, after federal withholding, after state tax, after the 4% the union automatically pulls for the pension you won't see for 30 years. That was your signing bonus, the first real money that ever had your name on it. You stared at the mobile banking notification for 11 seconds. You screenshotted it. You sent it to your mother. She called you crying so hard you couldn't understand a single word she said for almost 2 minutes. That was September 14th. It is now November 3rd. You open the app again. The number in the top right corner has 7 digits, but the first one is a 0, and the second one is also a 0. You were sitting in the back of a black SUV crossing the 405 freeway at 11:47 p.m., icing your left knee with a bag you grabbed from the trainer's room because the swelling won't go down after 40 minutes of consecutive playing time against Phoenix. The SUV costs $1,900 per month. You don't own it. It's billed to a management company that takes 4% of everything you earn. The driver doesn't know your name. He just knows the address. You are 22 years old. You're an NBA rookie, and you are already behind. You are the 11th pick in the draft. That is a fact that sounds like a sentence about success, and in many ways it is. 11 means a guaranteed contract. 11 means 4 years and $13.4 million in total value. 11 means your face was on a broadcast watched by 12 million people when the commissioner read your name, and your mother stood up from her seat and had to be held by 3 different relatives. What 11 also means, what nobody explains clearly at the draft table with the cameras rolling, is that the government takes 37% before you ever see it. California takes another 13.3%. Your agent, the man who spent 3 years calling your college coach and flying to your workouts and building your brand and negotiating every clause in your contract, takes 4% off the top of every dollar. Your financial advisor takes 1.5%. The NBA's escrow hold, a standard 10% withheld per paycheck until the season balances out, takes another cut. By the time the direct deposit hits your account, a $12 million signing bonus becomes $580,000. Your mother's mortgage is $1,700 a month. You paid it off the first week. That was $204,000. Clean, done, final. You didn't think twice. You would do it again. Then the calls started. The calls don't begin with, "Can I have money?" That's not how it works. They begin with, "I'm so proud of you." They begin with your uncle, the one who drove you to AAU practice at 5:30 a.m. when you were 13, calling to tell you he needs to refinance before the bank takes the house. They begin with your high school coach, the man who genuinely shaped the player you became, mentioning quietly that his daughter needs surgery and the insurance won't cover the procedure. They begin with friends you grew up with, real ones, the kind who have your old middle school photos saved on their phones, asking if you can just help them out for a little while until they get back on their feet. You say yes 6 times in the first 60 days. You are not stupid. You knew this was coming. Every veteran in the league, every financial seminar the union runs during rookie orientation, every podcast and every magazine profile about NBA players losing their money told you this was coming. You sat in that seminar in Las Vegas during orientation week and nodded and took notes on your iPad while a former player explained that 60% of NBA athletes face serious financial difficulty within 5 years of retirement. You still said yes 6 times. Because these aren't strangers. That's the part the seminars never quite account for. The math is simple. The math is correct. The math doesn't know that your uncle's hands smell like motor oil because he spent 30 years fixing other people's cars to make sure you had new sneakers every September. Numbers don't carry that weight. You do. In the NBA, being a rookie is an economic category, not just a developmental one. Veterans with 3 or more years of service don't carry equipment bags to the plane. You do. Not because someone told you to. Nobody assigned it to you officially. But on your 3rd road trip, the starting point guard dropped his travel bag at the gate and walked past it without breaking stride. Every veteran on the team did the same thing. You looked around for a second. You picked it up. That was 2 months ago. You still carry it. Veteran minimum players who make $1.1 million a year don't get up for the locker room food spread first. You eat whatever is left after the rotation players are done. Last Tuesday in Portland, what was left was 3 pieces of cold grilled chicken and a bowl of edamame with no seasoning. You ate standing up because someone else was in your locker. Rookies also pay for team dinners on the road. This is tradition, not policy. Nobody voted on it. Nobody argues against it. During the preseason trip to Denver, the tab for the entire team, 22 players, 6 coaches, 4 support staff, came to $14,700 at a steakhouse where the sommelier had an accent and the bread cost $22. Your name is the last on the roster. The check found you anyway. The veteran power forward sitting across from you, the one with the max contract and the shoe deal and the house in Bel Air with the recording studio in the basement, watched you process the number on the receipt. He took a sip of sparkling water. "Welcome to the league," he said. He wasn't being cruel. That is genuinely the hardest part to understand. The Staples Center, the Crypto.com arena, is 6 miles from your apartment. You moved in September 30th. Your lease is $8,500 a month in a building that had a gym, a rooftop, and a doorman because your agent told you that area and building type were standard for an 11th pick. You didn't negotiate it. You trusted the recommendation. The previous tenant left a half-eaten box of cereal in the cabinet and a single sock under the bathroom vanity. You don't know who that person was. You don't know if they made it. Tonight, you played 41 minutes. Not because the coach wanted to play you 41 minutes. His target was 28. But the veteran point guard rolled an ankle in the 3rd quarter, and the backup is on a 10-day contract and hasn't learned the sets yet. And the opponent started pressing full court with 8 minutes left, and the head coach looked down the bench and found you. You went 14 points, 6 assists, 3 turnovers. The turnovers came in the 4th quarter when your hands were too tired to grip the ball cleanly. Your fingertips are numb in a specific way that happens when you've been dribbling against full court pressure for extended stretches, a buzzing deadness that starts at the fingernails and works backward toward the palm. The training staff will want to see you for treatment tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. It is 11:47 p.m. right now. You have a film session at 9 a.m., you have a shoot-around at 11:30 a.m., you have a home game tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. Your body is 22 years old. Your schedule is structured as though bodies don't age. In 15 years, if you play that long, if you stay healthy, if you make the right decisions and the wrong injuries don't find you at the wrong time, your knees will remember every minute of this. Sports medicine data says that for every additional minute of playing time above 34 minutes per game before age 23, there is a measurable increase in soft tissue injury risk over the following 5 years. Nobody told you that tonight. They just needed you to run the pick and roll. Practice ends. You stay. This is not optional. It never has been. You were the last player picked up from your high school gym every single evening because your father's shift ended at 6 and he couldn't get there before 6:15. You internalized the extra time as your edge. It became the thing that made you. 15 extra minutes on the court every day since you were 14. No one asked. You just stayed. The assistant coach, a man named Marcus who played 7 seasons in the league in the 90s and has the kind of quiet authority that doesn't need volume, watches you run pull-up jumpers off the dribble for 20 minutes after the rest of the team has gone to the showers. He doesn't say anything for the first 15. He's rebounding for you, which means he's also watching your footwork and your release point and the angle of your elbow. You know what separates the guys who last 10 years from the guys who last 3? He says, catching a ball and rolling it back to the top of the arc. You wipe the sweat off your face with the hem of your practice jersey. You're guessing he's about to tell you something about effort or hunger or staying humble. Paperwork, he says. He doesn't elaborate. He rolls the ball back to you. You shoot. It goes in. You think about it for 20 seconds while you set up the next rep. Then you understand what he means. He doesn't mean actual paperwork. He means all the invisible infrastructure that determines whether the money stays. Tax structures, ownership entities, LLC formations, vesting schedules, the decisions made in conference rooms by accountants and attorneys and financial planners that your rookie brain doesn't want to engage with because it's exhausting and you're already running 41-minute nights on 6 hours of sleep. He's not lecturing, he's warning. You file the information somewhere behind the exhaustion. You take 3 more pull-up jumpers. All 3 go in. The SUV drops you off at 12:21 a.m. The doorman holds the lobby door. You ride the elevator alone to the 14th floor. You sit on the edge of your bed, icing the knee, scrolling through the notifications you missed during the game. Your mother sent a video. She's showing her coworkers the highlight clip from the third quarter, the one where you split the double team and finished left-handed through contact. Her coworkers are clapping. She is crying. This is the 4th time this week she has sent you a video of other people watching you play. The account is still in recovery. The lease payment is due in 9 days. The dinner in Portland is still pending on the card. There are 2 voicemails from your cousin. You know what they're about. You put the phone face down on the nightstand. In a few years, if everything goes the way the trajectory suggests, the contract numbers change significantly. The 3rd year of a rookie deal has an option year. If the team picks it up, and they will, because 41 minutes tonight means they trust you in moments that matter, the extension conversation starts. That conversation is worth somewhere between $28 million and $180 million depending on what you become in the next 36 months. The difference between $28 million and $180 million is not talent. At this level, everyone has talent. The difference is the 7:30 a.m. treatment sessions, the extra 20 minutes with Marcus, the paperwork, the ability to carry someone else's bag without losing yourself in the process. You are 22 years old. You are 11 games into a career that might last 15 years or might end with a knee that gives out in year 2. You have $580,000 where $1.2 million used to be, and 6 people who needed you, and a mother who cries when strangers applaud for you, and a body that has 37 more minutes of inflammation to ice down before you can sleep. The money went somewhere real. That part doesn't keep you up at night. What keeps you up is simpler, more abstract, harder to ice. You don't know yet if you're the kind of player who gets a second contract. Neither does anyone else. The league will spend the next 3 years finding out. So will you.